Good evening, everybody. This is Mother Supreme's Cabinet of Curiosities. You are now entering the Hotel Cortez. We have recently added a Wi-Fi to the mix. The ice machine is over to the left. Here is room 64. Let's begin.
There you go.
Wait, why am I hearing myself?
Oh, God.
Because your voice
Sorry about
is
that.
lovely.
Sorry about that. Anyways, this week's theme, I guess, is going to be theories. You know, I couldn't find any, so I'm going to tie in just season 9 theories / just theories in general. So Melinda has prepared for us a list. I guess we're just going to go through that, and then at the end we'll talk about season 9.
Okay.
You're covering up the camera. Hey, jackass, you're in the way.
I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm speaking. Hold on.
Tonight's special guest is the Butcher.
You have the butcher? Oh, there she is. Well, at least it's not the freaking torture guy.
Which one?
The addiction torture guy. The addiction demon, whatever they call him.
Oh, yeah.
Am I the only one who thinks that like the real Roanoke colony and the real Butcher was a lot more scarier than like the show?
Yeah, they're supposed to be. Yeah, because what they did was they glamorized, just like reality TV does all the time when they do those reenactments. They glamorize the person.
Okay.
Even Scathach too was wicked gross in the real.
So long. What is 5 Langley Street?
What are we doing?
Of course, before we start, we would like to give a big shout out to Mother Supreme. Her channel is Mary Girl Moody.
Hey,
her
Mary.
Patreon is Mary. It's her
Hey,
Patreon
Mary.
is Mary Girl Moody, or is it something different?
It's Mary Girl Moody. Yeah.
Okay.
Twitter is Mary Girl Moody. Instagram.
Wait, we need a Twitter too.
Well, someone up.
I'll do that tonight.
Oh, I'm gonna
Alright.
live tweet the fuck out of the show
Uh-huh.
because I used to
Not
live
yet.
tweet Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes.
Sidebar: my computer percentage was at 60. Like when I first got on, it's now at 40. What is going on?
You need to plug it in.
Nah, I'm gonna wait till it gets to 10.
I didn't bring my computer out. That's how lazy I am. I'm just on the phone.
Are you guys ready for the first one?
Ready? Go ahead. Here we go.
Let's
start
do
the
it.
show, folks.
All right. I'm going to start with the one that I found that I actually thought was really, really interesting that I hadn't even thought of, which makes a lot of sense. Oliver Thredson and Dandy Mott are possibly brothers or half brothers.
Interesting. So
Let's
funny.
see. It says this is based on the belief that Gloria Mott gave birth to both children. In Freak Show, she mentioned that her family has produced some psychopaths, which could describe Oliver. At one point, mentioning she would do anything for money, including marrying a second cousin. Gloria could have done just that, and Oliver, who she gave up to adoption, was the result. At one point, a demon taunts Oliver about being abandoned, and the timeline of his birth also matches the period in which Gloria was broke, and she had Dandy late in life.
I'm trying to think of the years, though. Freak Show took place in 60 what?
No,
54?
Freak Show was 50, 50,
50s,
52, 54.
mid-
I think it was 52. 52 because it was like 10 years later. It was Pepper at Asylum or something like that.
Okay. And then, yeah, it would work. The time frame would work.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So that would
Well,
mean.
that's rather interesting. What do you guys think about that?
Well, yeah, because I mean, I
So
guess
that
it's
means-
not really far fetched at all because like we never even got Fredson's like backstory besides like.
Or Dandy? We don't have much backstory on him either.
So
Well, I
if
mean,
you
we
tie-
know that what was Gabrielle Sidibe, Patty LaBelle's daughter. What the hell
Yeah.
was their names? I forgot. But we found out that when they played together when they were young, Gloria was never really there. It was just the maids mothering
Right.
Dandy.
Johnny.
And I think he went off with some little boy or something playing, and that boy never came back. Didn't that happen in a flashback of Dandy? We saw a scene with him playing with some little boy when he was younger, and then Gloria said like that boy never came back.
Oliver and Dandy. Oh yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think I remember that.
So we know a little bit about D&D,
But
but
we don't know much about Gloria other than like what I just
Yeah,
said.
exactly.
well, we
don't
can
know
say
too
the
much
same
about
thing
her.
that Dandy did is what Lana's son Johnny did when he was a kid. He would skin cats and kill things just like Dandy.
Right.
So they have similar patterns of behavior.
Right.
So
And there's a good chance that Oliver probably did things like that when he was younger too. We just didn't hear about it.
Hell, Michael even did that shit.
Right.
So that actually, the tree that this links so many characters together this way, if those two are together, because now you can actually, everybody that's linked to everybody, like with Dandy, you can link Bet and Dot by that marriage together. So you link Bet and Dot, then you're getting into the Roanoke stuff together. All of that now is linked to Lana and Lana's side of stuff. If they're all family, if they're all linked. So,
And Lana was already linked to Roanoke by trying to do the interview or by doing the interview.
And Dandy was already linked to Roanoke because of Edward. Yeah.
Edward Mott. Yep.
So that, I mean, it's not far fetched. It's not something too crazy to, you know.
No, it's not. Brings a lot of people together.
And we still don't have the answers like we were talking about before in one of our previous videos about the theory, our theory with the house, and if it was left to Dot.
Dot, yeah.
Because she did marry Dandy, but so when he died, she would have been the sole heir, but we don't know if anybody knew of that, and we don't know if possibly there was an annulment. They just didn't give us the details of that.
Correct.
So
is someone calling me? Who's calling? Someone calling us?
Ghostbusters.
Huh?
Ghostbusters.
Oh, hold on. Is someone calling our feed? Kenny, did you hear that?
I would have got it notified.
Oh,
No,
me.
it wasn't on my end.
Okay, it could be Kitty because she dropped the call.
I think it's Kitty. Kitty? Kitty.
Don't
know.
The invite still should be valid. I don't know if
I just heard about like a tone noise, dun dun. Like somebody's trying to beep in. So I was curious because I'm on my phone on the computers. I was curious if it was my text message or if it was Google.
You can always send her a message in Messenger. I said you can always send her a message in Messenger.
Oh yeah, it's true. Okay,
and then to go along with that theory, the one I kind of mentioned to you guys before was also the fact that I had read that someone brought up the fact that there's a possibility that Oliver Thredson could have been the psychiatrist that Gloria was talking to about Dandy in Freak Show.
Yes.
Now,
I don't know though.
We do hear the psychiatrist's voice, so the voice would be different. But I could see AHS playing on that and leaving that as a plot hole or a plot gap.
But let's look at those dates. So Gloria would have been talking to that psychiatrist in what year?
Because Dandy because Thredson was in medical school.
Right.
Not too long before not too long before Asylum.
Yeah, he was new. So Asylum was what years?
So when he got to the asylum, how long had he been a psychiatrist?
Not long, I don't think.
No, I don't think too long. I don't think so. Because when he was in school, he started fucking around with bodies and shit. And then after that, he said the dead body wasn't good enough. So he killed that one secretary and all that started happening. So he was a pretty new doctor, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know though. Like, I don't remember if they gave a date though when all that happened.
Well, the show is listed. It's got specific dates. You can kind of figure it out from episode. Okay, Ian. My whole phone is frozen.
What are you looking for?
I have to go. Mine's frozen up.
I don't know, because in Asylum it makes it look like he's been a professional for some time, but then when you really think about it, it's like but it's like, no, it can't be that, because he started killing after he was in med school, like almost right after, right?
No,
I think he was doing it while he was in
right
school.
I mean, look, it's. Jess, here you go. Yeah.
Oh, he's not talking to us.
Huh? No. What?
Nothing.
My headphones are
Okay, well, I'll just go to the next one then.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that stuff up. So go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'll look it up.
I would say most likely that wasn't him.
Yeah, I didn't I like the one about them being brothers. I think that one holds more weight. That one, I think that one, the timeline matches up better than him being the doctor on the phone.
And it was kind of weird though, like how we didn't see his face, the doctor. But that was kind of Freak Show. Freak Show had a bunch of weird imagery, like the whole letters from between Elsa and Dot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. It was just weird
shooting. It was very stylized on purpose. Go ahead.
Okay, so the next one, this one, I don't know how I feel about this one. Well, I do know how I feel about this one, but I'll tell you guys what it is first, and then I'll tell you how I feel. Okay, Dr. Arden is actually is an alien.
Oh, now, God, no, I'm already out.
I know, me too. But it says, if this was any other show we were talking about, buying into the idea that a seemingly human character actually was an alien would be really hard. However, American Horror Story is chock full of the supernatural and unexpected. Given the evidence, this theory actually holds water. An absolutely awful being, Dr. Arden from the Asylum season, is known to have committed crimes against humanity through his weird experiments on people, through arguably the kind of thing an alien might do. This is admittedly pretty weak evidence of him originating from another planet. However, one of his victims comes to believe that he has been approached by an alien, and interviews have suggested that there is something wrong with Dr. Arden's body. Perhaps when recreating a human body, aliens miscalculated how things work below the belt.
Well, the show was saying that Dr. Arden had a small dick, basically. Right. He was insecure about it. But
I think that whole thing was to play into his character as a weak character.
Correct.
Because of the backstory that he had. We were meant to not like him.
Correct. He was going to beat and rape women because of his own insecurities with his own penis.
Right.
That was the whole purpose of that. And he goes all the way back. Aliens wouldn't have anything freaking do with them when they showed up at the asylum.
Yeah.
Remember,
Well, yeah, and they had
looking at
nothing
the
to do
light.
with him even when he was working in there, and it was like a tuberculosis place.
Well, and even
Correct.
Pepper, remember, even Pepper said that the aliens laugh at him in his
Yeah.
feeble-minded experiments.
Correct. Yeah. So that one we can shoot down.
So that's why I didn't really buy into that one, because I'm like, his experiments, if he was an alien, wouldn't they be more like I don't know, just like grander, grander,
more advanced.
Advanced. Thank you.
If they were significantly going to make him an alien, it was a part of his character, part of his plot. He would have had something to do with the aliens when they came. I mean, not just them being him laughed at and him being ignored when the light came down. He would have something like a Pepper kind of experience. Something significant happened to him, versus nothing. So yeah, no, that's not a viable.
Yeah.
What about Kit being an alien?
Kit, see, something is very significant with Kit. Extremely. Of anybody, the aliens were interested the most in Kit, whether Kit's DNA or Kit's heart.
I could see Kit having part alien DNA.
Yeah, something with Kit, absolutely.
Yeah. Something about him makes him special.
Yep.
Well, don't you remember that it was a rumor that before we even knew about Apocalypse, that it was going to be Michael versus Kit's children?
Right.
But wasn't that just an internet rumor?
I think that, I don't know though.
Yeah. Because I think that was just one of the theories, or not theories, just basic bullshit rumors that were floating around at the time. Because as soon as they started saying crossover, everybody started with these crazy ideas of what the crossover was going to be, versus waiting to see what was going to happen. But that would have been, we need to see Kit's children. If they're going to do any more crossover, which I'm fine if they don't, but if they're going to do any more crossovers, then we need Kit's children is the ones that I want to see the most.
I agree.
You guys already know what I think about crossovers. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. Let's
No,
not do that again.
Crossover if it's not just for fan service, like do it right.
Exactly.
Right. Otherwise,
otherwise,
if they're not going to do it right and it's going to be a hot mess, then they should have never made each season connected. It should have just been anthology.
Right. And that's what a lot of people are saying.
Granted, it would have been a lot less, more, I guess, fun theorizing, but at least it would have been solid.
Exactly. We could have said, if American Horror Story would have stayed the way it was from like the first 3 seasons before all of a sudden they connected Pepper, if it would have stayed just an anthology, we could have had just as much fun talking about each individual season as its own individual story.
Yet here we are.
Right.
And I survived the apocalypse.
We all did. They're in every room.
Okay. All right, next one.
All right.
Do we know what date the asylum took place in? The flashbacks, the Lana period, bloody face period.
Let me go to the.
Because Gloria would have made that call between 52 and 53.
Let me see, Oliver. Thredson first came to Briarcliff in order to judge Kit Walker's sanity. That doesn't really give me a time though, but we know.
It doesn't say the date that he did that?
Asylum was set in the 60s.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. See, and Gloria would have made that call in 53.
Yeah, I think that would have been too early for him to be a psychiatrist.
Yep.
Okay, so the next one says each season is a campfire story.
Which it was the original idea. That is true.
Kind of like, and that's what I like, kind of like the Are You Afraid of the Dark series.
Correct. And that was
I like that idea.
They can still do that, I guess.
Well, and here, I'll tell you guys what it says. It says, unlike most shows, the nature of American Horror Story makes it so that people behind the series don't have to come up with a traditional finale. Sure, each season has an ending of sorts, but given the anthology nature of the show, fans aren't expecting to have anything wrapped up in a neat little bow. However, if this theory is true, producers could use it to give viewers exactly that kind of a final moment. Basically, the idea is that each season is a story that has been made up by one member of a group of friends who are seated around a campfire, and that characters from the show are based on them.
I see what you're saying.
Incorporating elements from one another's stories in their own tales, the show could end up revealing the group of friends, each of whom are played by a series regular.
That's interesting.
Which kind of plays into the theory of what I was saying before about each person being that person.
Being in their own hell, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. That would be a fun way to end it. But see, I don't know if that's really the case anymore. Now that they came out and they said that American Horror Story is going to continue on continuously, that they have no end in sight necessarily. So it's like instead of having that 10-season plan like they did, now they're just like, we'll have as many seasons as we can get. So it seems like they've kind of any solid plan they have is kind of up in the air now.
Well, what do you guys think about what do you guys think about them going up till 10 seasons for American Horror Story, and then afterwards it's not going to just be narrowed to America?
I would be all, what I would really want to see is kind of on that idea.
Even if they did that, they have to tie America in somewhere, because then they couldn't continue to call it American Horror Story.
Yeah, they just have to call it Horror Story.
Yeah,
I would be all for that. I would be all for an expansion of an idea if they took it back to an anthology series. Just each season, a different story in a different place, in a different time, whatever, and just leave it be. Because in that way, if the show doesn't do well or FX gets canceled or whatever the case may be, if they're not in this middle of this connection stuff and wrap up and all this crazy stuff, they could just end the show whenever, because it's just individual stories. Hello?
Hello.
Dead air.
Okay, so one says Freak Show, which is our favorite, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Freak Show is a darker version of Alice in Wonderland. If there was one thing that we can say for sure about watching Freak Show, is that it kept us guessing, not only about what would happen next, but also about what was going on, period. Considering that it is similar to how Alice feels when she falls down the rabbit hole, this is the first thing the two stories have in common. Elsa's smoking brings to mind the caterpillar. On top of that, Twisty's fake smile is similar to the Cheshire Cat's grin. Dot and Bet are kind of like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and Dandy is a lot like the Queen of Hearts. If all of that weren't interesting enough, there also is the fact that the top hats are visible all throughout Freak Show.
I think that's pushing it. I think it's making something fit into a square box.
I think so too. I think all those elements just kind of fit into a circus atmosphere.
Exactly.
So, and Alice in Wonderland was its own kind of circus.
Yeah.
But I could still see how it could have been like a writer's way of imagining it in that way, if that would have been like their favorite story as a child.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just incorporating elements of it.
Yeah, and I think, or maybe, yeah, just having that feeling, that emotion behind it, because they loved Alice in Wonderland so much. But I don't think it's literary a comparison.
No, I don't think.
Okay, this is what we were trying to do. Yeah. Because I also think with this type of series, and we've talked about it before, especially with a season like Apocalypse, is I think they kind of write on the fly. I don't think there's a set plan in place prior to shooting on day one. I think Ryan goes in with a pilot for each season, and they give everybody the characters, and I think they kind of run with it throughout the season. I don't ever think that, because you can tell with every single series that right about episode 6, 7 on, it starts to get away from them. It starts to get crazy. So I don't think they have a set plan when they're doing that. God knows they didn't for Apocalypse.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, the next one says the Countess took in blonde children because she was looking for Michael. By far the most talked about character from Hotel, the Countess was a big hit with fans and critics alike. The owner of the Hotel Cortez is responsible for many ghastly acts of violence that happen there. Yet she takes care of a group of young children, all of whom are blonde. She is revealed to have a virus that has kept her young for decades, and all of her kids end up in the same position, which means they will remain young forever. The theory is that she learned that Michael, the Antichrist from season 1, has been born, and she hopes to gain control over him. Since he is a blonde, she is collecting any kids in this age range that have the same hair color and seem special.
No, I don't think so because
the Countess.
well, she started stealing kids back in the 80s.
80, yeah, or even before. Wasn't she doing in the 70s?
I think
she was on the big disco scene.
But even if we go to present day Hotel, which was 2022, where she took around the time she took Holden, why would she
Holden 2022?
Well, I'm saying around that time later. Why would she still be taking
blonde kids,
taking blonde children when Michael would have been older at that point? I mean, he would have still been young technically because she didn't know he was going to age the way he did.
Yeah,
but
she became a vampire in the 40s?
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it was the 30s or the 40s.
30s or the 40s, and so she at some point between that and the 80s, she already would have been utilizing those children or some sort of blood.
She became. It was the 20s.
Was it the 20s?
Okay,
it was the 20s because when she met James, it was the grand opening for the hotel, and that was.
See, she probably had those kids in the hotel already, back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, whatever.
Well, she had to have had them for some period of time because when she broke up with Ramona, it was in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, she was big and she was alive and vibrant and really at her peak in the 70s when she was going through the disco movement and everything. So she would have had to have those children in the 70s because that's what kept her viable.
What do you guys think about the theory that Papa Legba is the one who created the virus?
No.
It is sort of like something he would do, though, right? Like
the vampire virus?
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you say that. But see, Papa Legba is very, very specific to that voodoo culture. He is their devil. He is their, their branch of afterlife. So I don't know, culture of that would, but it's interesting. I think see that buzzing noise was happening again. Is Kitty trying to get on?
All she has to do is just click join call. The invite,
I don't know. He's buzzing. Don't know.
Is it like a whistling buzzing?
No, it goes like a phone buzzing.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were hearing my dog whining.
Oh no! In the system.
I mean, I'm running it through my laptop. I didn't really feel it or hear it, so.
Well, it's because I'm wearing the headphones. I could hear.
Okay.
What are you doing, Nuke? What are you doing? Okay, what's next?
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys the next one, and then I got to walk away first.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. This one says one of Tate's victims from the school shooting was a member of the coven. Which this one I've dug into, and this is very, very feasible. It says at first it seems like Tate Langdon from season 1 is a decent teenager, but in the end, it is revealed that he has committed more than one horrific act. He is responsible for taking out several fellow students in an awful act of violence at his school. When the audience first learned Tate did something so awful, they see him in an entirely different light. However, one Reddit user suggested that viewers should have been paying attention to one of his victims, since she looked so much like one of the coven's former witches from before season 3. If that is true, then Tate dispatched a trained witch. Now, do you guys remember Stephanie Boggs, the goth chick he killed in the library? Now, there is actually, now in Coven, when Zoe is talking about the past covens who were there, and they were talking about, when they were talking about getting rid of the Axeman, and they show clips real quick of past covens. The one from, I believe it was the 90s, she's actually sitting in a chair right there. Now, it looks just like her. It's hard to tell because it was so quick. And everybody who has pictures, it's a quick screenshot. I'm going to show you guys a picture real quick. Okay.
Was it the same actress that played her? That did the photograph?
I don't know. There's not definitive proof, but it looks just like her. Can you guys see that? Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Does anybody know?
Even if it's not the same actress, it could still be the same character.
Right. They made the character look like it's very much supposed to be her.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Barely. I think it's cutting out for him.
But yeah, so you see what I'm saying? It looks like identical.
I think we lost Michael.
And now when Tate did the school shooting,
Hello?
when Tate did the school shooting?
94.
94.
Can you hear me?
That would make sense. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
That would make sense because this is the coven from the 90s.
Wait, I missed it. Show the picture again.
Sure.
Well, then what would make that girl move from New Orleans to some LA school?
It could just be the same actress, though.
Well, right, and that's what I was thinking too. But if it is just the same actress, why did they make her look like the same character? Because this actress in real life doesn't look anything like that. Like, it's not like her style is goth or grunge or anything. That's not
that's
what
true.
she looks like in real life.
They made her, but they made
her
look
look exactly like Stephanie Boggs, which is the character in Murder House.
Okay, but why was Stephanie Boggs in New Orleans in that
Now,
photograph?
wait a minute. Now, I thought about that. But what if she was only in New Orleans to go to Miss Robichaux's to be trained as a witch, which a lot of witches did. They only went there to train, and then they went back home wherever they were from. They didn't stay there. They didn't live there forever.
True.
So maybe she just went there for a while and then went back home to LA.
True. It's a very, very, very possible theory. And
because the timeline matches up.
Yes, and the way those two seasons are so linked and so crossover, it would just be another really interesting thing for them to have done.
Right.
And maybe there was an initial plan, but there was too many things that were linked between those two seasons. They couldn't fit it in.
That's what I think it was. I think
Mhm.
it was something meant to be linked, and then it was just kind of looked over because it was like, oh, well, we've got all these other things. We don't need that anymore. And it was set to the cutting room floor.
Yeah, because even the hairstyle, everything is really, really exactly like how she was presented in
Yeah.
season 1.
Yeah. So even if it
Somebody-
isn't the same actress, they made her look exactly the same as that
Yeah,
character.
they did.
Even if
Has
it's not the
anybody-
same actress, though, I mean, like it could have been like a scathage type of thing where it's like
Uh-huh.
a different actor.
I will
Well,
be
in
right
that
back.
theory,
You guys discuss this.
well, Melinda,
What?
I wonder if did anybody in that theory, when you were reading the theory, did anybody tweet that actress?
I don't think so.
We should tweet the actress and ask her.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
But
They're alive and well. Find out who that actress is.
tell us, because if it is something that they plan on using later, or they were
But
going to
if she
use
says-
and didn't use,
She'd give us that answer if she says she couldn't talk about it.
that's
But if she
true,
says, no, I
too.
never heard anything about that, no, then we would know.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Interesting.
And I will tell you what her name is. Her name is
Okay, wait, let me write it because I'll tweet her.
okay.
I think, yeah, her name.
Alessandra Torresani. I'll spell it for
Okay.
you.
Okay, yeah, okay.
ALESS
ALESS.
ANDRA,
Alessandra.
and then it's TORRESANI.
Okay. A-N-I?
Yeah,
Torsani? Okay.
yeah, Torresani. And she played Stephanie Ball.
Why did they give her character a name like that? Like they gave all them the names. Like that's kind of like.
Gotta be credited for the union.
You know what though? I think they made the names similar, not exact, but similar to Columbine victims.
They did, yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Continuity
be
and respect
right
for
back.
Columbine and stuff. Yeah. All right. Is Kitty
I
there
mean,
now?
that's interesting. She was in and then she left. I don't know if she's having
No.
problems.
I don't know. Who knows? They were driving somewhere. Well, I don't have one that's next. She left us with the theory and then left. Where'd you go?
Do 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 do.
Okay. So...
What do you got? That's so sad about Luke Perry.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. I'd stopped watching it this last season, but I had gotten really into Riverdale too. And his
See,
character was
I
so good
started
on Riverdale. I wonder how
watching.
they're gonna cover his character.
I finished all of season 1, and I think I got to some of season 2, and then I just.
But I wonder if his character is still in Riverdale in the current season.
He's still in. I think a couple more episodes or something like that.
Oh. Ugh,
Maybe the
that's
rest of the
Archie's
season.
father. Yeah, that's
I'm
Archie's
not
father.
sure.
Now that's going to be a big change for Archie's character with him gone.
I don't
So
think they would
sad.
recast him. I don't think they
No,
would.
no, I don't think so either. Not because Luke Perry was such a big name. And he was like, oh,
Can we talk about something real quick? Like, this is sort of AHS related, but let's talk
Right.
about Clay Duvall for a
Right.
second. You're like cutting in and out.
names. That show about
You are cutting in and out. Like, it's all. You are robot meat right now. I have no clue what you're saying. You are robot meat. I have no idea what you're saying.
I don't know how long for the egg.
I have no clue what you just said. Sorry, people, we're having technical difficulties. I'm gonna freak the fuck out if fucking her Funko Pops start moving. Do 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 do. I'd like to reiterate that this channel / stream / situation is brought to you by Mary Girl Moody. Make sure you go to her channel, subscribe, become a patron.
Hear me? Hold on.
Enjoy the stream. If you
Hello?
like it, give it a thumbs up.
Are you there?
Yes, Michael's back.
Hey, how's that now? Better?
Much better.
Okay, yeah, my phone's only at 7% though. That's the problem.
Oh.
So we'll see how long it goes. Because I had to use the plug-in ones, and on an iPhone 10, you only have one slot to plug something in.
So let's discuss while we wait for Melinda. Clay Duvall.
Who's Clay Duvall?
Wendy, Lena's girlfriend. She's on like, they cast her as a lesbian. Like, what's up with that?
Is she a lesbian in real life?
It's like a running joke. I don't know if she is, but like she was. I watched The Handmaid's Tale. She was in there. She was a lesbian. The Faculty movie, AHS. What was that other movie she was in? It's just like that. I feel like that's just
about her. One thing that I really, really respect about her and the way when she plays a lesbian, and maybe this is why she keeps getting cast as a lesbian, is because she plays it so naturally. She doesn't play it stereotypically at all. She doesn't play like a butch lesbian. It just comes from her very naturally.
Yeah, Clay Duvall.
She's such a good actress. I really like her.
I hope she comes back. I think so, maybe.
Yeah, she's really, really natural at it, and she's also as an actress, as a woman, she's also very feminine, very just regular, normal woman looking, and I think it breaks a lot of stereotypes for her. To be such a natural acting lesbian, but yet still a natural, just woman. It shows that breaks down the whole butch stereotype and all that stuff. I think she's great. I wish she would highlight more on American Horror Story.
I'll find out tonight. I'll look into it. I'll tell you guys.
I hope she comes back. I hope Cuba Gooding Jr. comes back. He was really good in Roanoke.
He was good. I don't know if he would though, but he was good.
I'm a huge Cuba fan. I love him. I really do. One of my favorite movies ever is What Dreams May Come. But I didn't like him all that much in Roanoke, and I liked Roanoke. I did. I liked that season.
Did you not like him, or did you? You didn't like his character. I don't think
his character all that much.
See, I don't think anyone.
Which one, Matt or Matt or the?
I didn't like him playing Matt. I liked him as his self person.
I think his name was Dominique.
Dominic.
Yeah.
I liked him as Dominic, but I didn't like him as Matt. It wasn't believable.
Yeah. See, as Dominic, we were supposed to hate him.
Right. And that was very believable. I liked him and everything. He played that great. But I just didn't like the way he played Matt. It wasn't that believable to me.
Yeah,
and even if he was supposed to play it poorly, like he was a bad actor or something in this show, but we know he can act, and that was just poor acting on his part.
Well, I think he might have been asked to play it that way, because if you watch those stupid reenactment shows, a lot of those characters are like that.
All of that stupid reality TV shit.
Yeah, because a lot of the time you hear people say, the person who played me was nothing like how I am.
Right.
Well, if you just
threw a dig at that.
But if you just watch those actors, watch those reenactments, they're horrible. It's like they cast the worst B-list actors that they can to do these reenactments. It's almost like bad soap actors on some of those shows. So maybe, but Sarah Paulson played it better though. So I don't know if they were necessarily asked to do it that way, because Sarah Paulson was very believable and very real and very dramatic and stuff when she was doing Shelby.
I liked her as Shelby. I thought she did a great job as Shelby.
Yeah. So I don't know that
No,
what they're asked.
I didn't like Audrey at the beginning half.
I
Now,
hated Audrey. I hated her.
I love Audrey.
No, from the middle towards the end, I loved Audrey. But from the beginning half, I wasn't a fan of Audrey.
She is so freaking funny.
Unnecessary, unrealistic. It just
it was. I mean,
know.
I think that was Sarah Paulson having a blast at just being just way out there, a totally different character. And I think that she took on like an accent, a role that she wasn't quite capable of, but then even made it funnier.
She talks about how horrible her British accent was.
But it was that much funnier. That just made that character just that much more out there. Is that she just went with it.
Like scripted reality television.
Oh, yeah. She so just fake. Went for I can't wait to talk about Roanoke. I can't wait till we get to that season.
He's cutting out again. Damn it.
Who? Me?
Okay, you were just cutting out just for a second.
I tell you, my phone is gonna die.
We better get to going on these theories then.
When it gets ready to die, I'm gonna plug it back in. We're trying to use just the speaker, but I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll try
now. All right, so now this one we've kind of talked about, but this is a slight variation of what we've talked about. It says Vivian Harmon is the granddaughter of Freak Show's Dr. Bonham.
Who? Okay, wait.
Not the daughter. Now we've talked about that with the daughter, but that's when we were saying like the timeline doesn't match up and stuff. But they're saying now that she's the granddaughter.
Okay, Vivian. This is the doctor from Florida that treated Angela Bassett's character. Yeah. Okay.
It says up until they popped back up in the 6th and 8th seasons of American Horror Story, it seemed like Vivian and Ben Harmon from the first season had no lasting effect on the series. In the case of Vivian, however, this theory would have you believe that one of her relatives was introduced in season 4. The idea is that Dr. Harmon. No, see, they put the wrong name in there. Not Dr. Harmon. Dr. Bonham from Freak Show is Vivian's grandfather. As for the evidence, this is the case. The doctor is known to have a daughter in Boston.
Yes.
Which is where Vivian lived prior to season 1.
Yes.
The doctor lived in Florida, and Vivian has a sister who lives there.
Correct.
And finally, the doctor is shown to have at least one granddaughter in a Freak Show scene.
Oh, speaking of that, hold on one second. I gotta show you. Look, you'll like this movie. I didn't show you guys. That's my new shirt.
We can't see it. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I have that. Yeah.
Just got that. Okay. Anyway, go on. So that fits with the Florida thing, but I mean those are big cities.
Right.
Oh my god, I have that shirt and it's like completely like shrunken and ruined now.
Oh really?
Yeah. I bought it like way back when I bought it like when it was at Hot Topic, like before Hotel even came out.
I got it from Macari. Macari's the shit. Those of you who do your eBay shopping, go to Macari.
Ever since you told me to go check it out, I've bought like 20 different things.
Addicted. Thank you.
Well, I was already buying a bunch of shit, but now I just found it cheaper over there.
Cheaper, more convenient. You're meeting people. It's like a big, huge social flea market. It's fucking phenomenal. Anyway, sorry, Kenny. Go on.
Now this one. Okay, so this one is outdated because this one says Lady Gaga.
Wait, let's go back to the other one. So that's all the evidence they have is just the sister and the Florida connection?
Yeah.
Then that's not enough evidence.
Well, and that's all we had to go off of. That's all there really is.
Yeah. I mean, you could fit that piece of evidence into so many different theories. We could spin that off on a million different theories though.
Yeah.
if we wanted to.
I mean, if he's from Boston, it could have been tied into Asylum.
Exactly. There's
Well,
so
I
many things
found
that you
I
can tie it
found
into.
another theory that says that the whole AHS universe is going to revolve around Massachusetts, or it does revolve around Massachusetts, even though a lot of it has been taking place in California lately.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't have it pulled up, so I can't quote all of it. But it makes sense because if you look at each season, there's usually always a tie back somewhere to Massachusetts.
I would actually, if they're going to tie all this crap in together, I would actually be all for, and we've talked about this before, all for this all having to do with the patients of Briarcliff.
Yeah, I would
I would
too.
be all for that.
And you know what? It would be cool if it all tied back into the patients of Briarcliff and the aliens. And that's how we get the aliens again, because it's really like aliens experimenting on these patients, and these patients having these visions or seeing their self in these stories or in these lives or something.
Yep. Pepper could become very, very important. The aliens are telling her to, bring the stories to the people. Well, whatever. But we find out that that the patients in the asylum, that we were seeing in the background or something, that we're learning that these stories and stuff are manifestations, psychosis manifestations of their own lives or their own experiences and stuff, and that would just absolutely be fascinating.
That would be. I would love that.
So I.
Okay, so the next one, like I said, it's outdated because we've already seen Apocalypse, but it says Lady Gaga will be the original Supreme again in Apocalypse.
Lady Gaga will what?
Will be the original Supreme again in Apocalypse.
No, she won't.
Yeah, because
well,
we
we know
were
that
told,
how that happened.
Well, we were told that we hadn't heard the last of Scathach.
Yeah, see, I just watched a big thing on I think it was Games Radar, one of those YouTube channels, and they broke down the sketch of things really, really well. And I'll have to find it. Maybe we can talk about it when we get to Roanoke. But when there's that beeping again, bump bump.
It's not me.
Oh, that was my phone. Maybe that's what.
Okay, that's what I keep hearing. Okay, so when Ryan Murphy said that Scathach was the OG Supreme, that's all he said, without going into any explanation, without going into any ties to Coven or anything. So if you break it down, and the way these guys broke it down, and I will find the video and we'll go through it, was basically you can trace a lineage of anything back to its original form and how it would have originally started without it being a manifestation of what we know now. So by him saying that she was the OG Supreme, meaning that she was the first known object on the planet to manifest that kind of magic. And then through her DNA, through her spawning of children, and it gradually growing through the decades, through the eons, then it became the witches and became the Coven of what it is. Not that Scathach walked on the planet and all of a sudden started creating covens. It's just she was the one that was blessed by whatever spirit or whatever to have that kind of powers. Not maybe she didn't do anything with it except for with the butcher, or maybe she never even understood what it was, and didn't form a colony or a coven or anything like that. But she was just the first to have that magic. That's what Brian could have been talking about. So
she has to have passed the 7 wonders. Michael froze. Maybe his phone died.
No, I had to plug mine in. It was about to die because that's what mine did to me last week.
He's just coming in and out. I feel bad. He might be talking now, and we can't hear.
We don't even know.
Well, do you guys hear the theory that Zoe was related to Scathach?
Yeah, and Mary had one of those too, didn't she?
Yeah, I think she was gonna make a video on that.
I think she did do that though.
She might have, yeah.
Yeah, she did do one that Zoe was related to Scathach.
But I feel like he said OG Supreme for a reason. She has to be a Supreme, you have to have the 7 wonders. So Otherwise, he would have just said the OG witch or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Huh. Well, I found, well, I don't want to go to another theory until Michael comes back. Because it's another Scathach theory that I found interesting that I think has some weight to it. Uh-oh. Now he'll have to call us back. Come back, Michael, come back. What happened to Kitty? She dropped again too.
Right. Well, she came back and then she dropped again. Like, what is going on with the internet waves today? And I don't think they need another invite to join. It's like it's already, once they accept that first invite, you can come back whenever you want. So I don't think I need another send one.
Well, if their Hangouts is working right. I'm gonna plug up my phone. I'm gonna move my charger. Ow, that was my food. I knocked the butcher over.
Ryan said, like, specifically, like, I know I'm not making shit up. Like, he said, we're like, when we do witches again, we're gonna bring Scathach just going to be in the mix. Like, I don't know if he necessarily meant like the crossover season, but it's like he did say that we have not seen the last of her.
Yeah. Well, maybe when he brings the witches back is when we're gonna get Scathach, because he has to touch on her again. I mean, he has to, because first of all, it's a fan favorite, and what's he gonna do for the actor? Is he gonna get Lady Gaga to play?
I don't think so, because
she was just the actress doing the reenactment, but everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I want Gaga."
No, that's why I feel like we didn't see the face of the person who played the real one. I mean, we saw the face of the stunt double, but we didn't see her verbatim, like on the cameras and Return to Roanoke or whatever. So I feel like that's probably them leaving the door open for another actress to pick that up.
I think I found out who that unidentified stunt woman is through some research, but I'm not going to say it right now because I'm going to do a video on it. I'll tell you when we're not live, Kenny, but I'm not going to say it on the video.
If it's who I think it is, I don't think so.
No.
Was this actress in American Horror Story before Roanoke?
Yes.
I don't think it was her.
Well, I found some evidence, so I'll show you later.
Or you know what? That could have been the stunt double for the actress who played the real Scathach. Like, they didn't necessarily have to be.
No, they wouldn't have done two people to play that one role. They would have used the stunt double for that role, because I've been researching a lot of the actors because that's what my next video is going to be about. And yeah, they use a lot of stunt people as actors, and they just call them stunt performers.
I think his phone died. I think we gotta wait for it to.
Oh yeah.
Should we just like do more and then go back to?
There we go. I got my phone plugged up now. Yeah, we can. I'll tell you one of my theories that I was thinking when I came up with some stuff. One that I found interesting that I think is that Mallory is now, okay, she's now the Supreme, but I think Mallory is a descendant of Scathach. And I
Well, no,
think,
she's not the Supreme. She's not.
well,
Or no, she might have been because when she went back, I guess there's just simultaneous Supremes.
right.
Three
It's just there's like a
Supremes.
parallel running there.
Yeah, 3 Supremes. So does
Which
that mean when does that mean when Cordelia passes away, it's going to go to Mallory, or is it going to go to somebody else?
Hello?
I don't know. I would think it would go to Mallory. Hello.
Hello?
She can't have
Hello.
double Supreme powers. You know what I mean?
Shut up.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you. Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're a silhouette. We don't even see your. You're
I know,
just,
except behind the light. You can see everything?
Not you, but yeah.
But I mean, you can see me in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, because this was acting all funny here a minute ago. Computer doesn't work right. All right, there I am.
There you are.
Oh, the world. Okay. All right, what? Sorry. I told you my phone was going to die, and it died.
That's what we said probably happened. And then mine beeped and said it was about to die, so I was plugging it up real quick so it didn't die on me.
There was an error loading your app.
Oh, you have 2. You're on the call twice now.
oh no, his evil twin is back.
Yeah.
God, why?
It's a doppelganger.
Oh, well, we're going to leave it alone for today. You guys just let my doppelganger hang out.
Hey, whatever works, man. Sometimes we like him, sometimes we like you.
It's right.
When did
We're
you start
here.
talking?
We're both here. I don't know how I figured out the last time to get him off of there, but
we were discussing Mallory. I feel like before we talk about her again, I feel like if they're gonna bring witches back, it's gonna be Mallory and Coco. Simply because I think those actresses, Billy and Leslie, I think they're gonna stay on the show for a couple more seasons or whenever they, however they choose to be. I think they're now mains pretty much.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they do witches again, it's not gonna be like Queenie, or I don't know, it could be, but
I want them to keep Leslie and keep her as Coco and bring her back, because we were told that her powers were growing, and we were hinted at the fact that her powers were going to grow into something exponentially, and she was going to harness energy and all this, but then nothing happened except for her being able to count calories. I feel like there's a bigger role for her to play with like harnessing energy. It's just starting small with food. And I really want to see where they develop Coco's powers and where it goes. Because I think she's going to bring in, I think she's going to be a big role player later.
I mean, she will. Apocalypse left such a bad taste in my mouth. I just don't want to deal with the witches period anymore. That's just me.
Well, yeah, but that's why we need a break. We need some time in between for a little while.
Yeah, because they had better think this shit over really good this time. Like, I feel like them bringing the witches back again. It's like they're saving grace. It better be, because they completely fucked up witches.
Nail in the coffin.
Yeah. They're either gonna bring us back to yay witches, or they're gonna completely kill the fucking one of the.
It happens on so many franchises in so many different ways. You kill a good thing while it's good. Instead of letting it go while it's good, you beat it into the ground.
What was the theory about Mallory and Scathach again?
Yeah, I didn't hear the theory.
Oh, the theory about Scathach?
Yeah.
Oh, it just says that she's the original Supreme and that she'll pop up in Apocalypse, and that didn't happen. We know that didn't happen.
Probably because they were trying to get Gaga, and then with Gaga with A Star Is Born in the award circuit, that she couldn't do American Horror Story.
We were talking about that when you weren't on the call. But if they bring Scathach back, everybody's going to want Gaga. But how are they going to?
It's not Gaga because Gaga was the actress.
It can't be Gaga.
Correct. I mean, it could be Gaga if you decorate her differently, But
right. But then
but-
people would still know it's Gaga.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gaga was the actress, and people keep forgetting that. The real
Exactly.
Scathes was almost like a demon looking thing.
Right.
She was just a stunt person, wasn't she? The actress that did it.
She was an unidentified stunt woman.
Yeah,
So-
but like I was saying, when Mallory were reversed back in time, I'm assuming she did not reverse her powers back to being before she was the Supreme. I'm guessing there is now simultaneous Supremes at the same time. Mallory and Cordelia.
Yeah,
Because
I would say so. Because I think when she came back to the Coven and she started talking to Cordelia, there was a hint that Cordelia might have sensed what was going on. And Mallory truly, obviously, knows what was going on. And Mallory would probably at some point sit down and tell Cordelia exactly what was going on. And then they would have decided together what they were going to do. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one says Sister Mary, and we kind of talked about this one when we covered Asylum. Sister Mary Eunice wasn't as possessed as everyone thought. In the Asylum season, we are introduced to Sister Mary Eunice and see her seemingly condemned when she is possessed by a demon. Shown with yellow eyes during her dark acts, this made it seem that she truly had been possessed. However, it was noticed that other possessed beings have consistently yellow eyes, while hers turn back and forth. On top of that, aside from when she did awful things to others, she still acted exactly the same way she had before. This has led some to believe that she was actually fully possessed and that she wasn't actually fully possessed, and instead her evil side was just awakened, which would mean she was still in control during her evil deeds.
I don't buy it. It's a lot of work. Huh?
Yeah.
Who? I can't hear anybody except for you, Melinda.
I don't think Kenny said anything.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, no, yeah, because first off, for the showrunners, for the creators to think that topsy turvy over the whole thing, let's make everybody that's possessed here look at this certain way. Let's make her look this.
Your audio.
The choice was her to be possessed.
I think
and
Lily
that was
even said in an interview, she did an interview after Asylum, and I think she said that I think she said like point blank that basically she wasn't all the way possessed. Like her character was enjoying having that sort of
okay. Well, that's a little bit different than being all the way possessed. It was the inner Eunice was thriving off of the possession. That would make sense. Yeah. But then when they showed,
I'll have to find the interview. She did it over like Skype or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that interview because that's really interesting. If Lily was playing it that way.
She also touched base on the theory that when her character died, did the demon even go with the angel of death, or or did that it just go into somebody else?
Yeah, it probably just went to somebody else.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's what it did to that's what it did from what was his name? Jed Potter. It went from him to her. So when she died, it probably went from her to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't see that because it wasn't relevant to the story.
Yeah, because when she died, it was just just were killing her. They weren't like doing a possession or anything.
Huh.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to find the interview, but like she basically said that I guess maybe that's how she was playing Mary Eunice possessed, as if like it was part possessed. Like she was in, like there was a part of Mary Eunice that was enjoying this, the I don't know. I'll have to find it.
Okay. Well, the next one, this one's rather interesting. It says, where's that? There we go. Oz from Cults is the grandson of one of the boys that escaped Twisty. It says the most visually striking character that American Horror Story has produced is Twisty. As a result, whenever the show references that clown, it is bound to please many viewers. Perhaps that is why there are good reasons to believe that Oz, a character from the Cult season, is the grandson of Corey, one of the children Twisty abducted. As for the evidence of this being the case, Oz's biological mother, Allie, is afraid of clowns, which could have resulted from knowing that one abducted her dad. On top of that, the actors chosen to play Oz and Corey are brothers in real life, which could have been an intentional wink at their characters' links.
Really? Those two actors are brothers?
Yeah.
Wait, who?
The one that played Oz and the one that played Corey, who escaped from Twisty.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
because he was on The Walking Dead too. The boy who escaped Twisty.
Huh.
He was
That's
there.
viable.
He was there for a hot second.
Does the time match up, or is it a generation 2 separated?
No, if it were going to be his grandson, it matches.
I'll do it. Okay, so 52 Freak Show, and say the boy was what? 11?
Give or take, I guess we could say.
We'll say 11. 12. 12. We'll say 12.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
12. So at 12 and 52, so 62, 22, 72, 32, 82, 42, 92, 52, 02, 62, 12, 72. So Ozzy would have been in after 12. So the guy would have been in his 70s. Yeah, it adds up.
That's what I'm saying. It makes sense.
Uh-huh. Pretty cool. Oh, hello. Oh.
Hello.
I'm having all sorts of technical issues tonight. Wait, hold on.
Your doppelganger's still there.
He's possessing the podcast.
The evil twin is back.
Mm-hmm. Watch out, Nuka. The evil twin. Oh, yes. My husband is just going off on politics right now. I'm trying to focus on one thing.
Okay, let's see. Coven's secret meaning. At first, Coven seemed to be all about a school for witches and the new class of students that are jockeying for position. However, before too long, it becomes clear that the most important things going on relate to the women who are already part of the Coven. The long-term Supreme is beginning to lose her power. The theory is that the season's theme is that being brought up to think you deserve power makes you awful at wielding it. Evidence of this includes Cordelia becoming a wonderful Supreme, Madison's entitlement, and that Fiona is incredibly selfish and is an awful leader.
You can use that theory in just about anything in life. Careful.
Yeah.
That's what that theory is.
Yeah. I think that's rather vague.
All good deeds don't go unpunished, you know.
Okay.
There's no good deed. That whole thing.
Yeah, we'll move on from that because
No good deed goes unpunished.
let's see. Okay. Sally from Hotel is connected to Tate from Murder House.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was the same year, same drug, same situation.
As we mentioned earlier in the list, Tate Langdon from the show's first season is known to have gone to school one day and violently dispatched several of his peers. One element that we didn't bring up prior to this is that Tate was shown ingesting an illegal substance prior to taking out his peers. At the time, thought to be nothing more than a window into his mental state at the time of his dark deed, in retrospect, that moment could also connect him to Sally from the Hotel season. Sally is known to have been living in his city when Tate went to school that day. Additionally, it was revealed that she made her living in those days by selling the kind of substances that Tate ingested.
LA's a big city.
I believe it. I believe it.
So, and in all reality, what they're saying is that very well Sally could have been Tate's drug dealer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't even think that's far-fetched at all.
The time makes sense.
Yeah.
And she was living there.
Michael's cutting out again.
What substance did they say he was on?
He was
What?
popping pills, wasn't he?
I don't remember.
He did cocaine too.
Oh, did he?
He was snorting, yeah.
I remembered him popping pills for some reason.
No, he was snorting that shit up like the Countess did. Like it was like the same type of.
Oh, you know what then? Maybe wasn't Sally's drug of choice? It was heroin. She shot up heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't cocaine, maybe it was heroin. Because you can do that the same way. If that was her drug of choice, maybe she would have been selling that.
It would either be heroin or meth, because those would be the cheap drugs that he could get on the street and snort. And I think meth is probably more of an option because he was revved up. Whereas heroin is a depressant, I believe, and meth is a stimulant.
You're right. Heroin, is a depressant.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. It could have been meth because he was all amped up, and then that's when he went and killed everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the drug made him kill everybody. I think that enhanced it. I think he was
could have been crack, though. Could have been crack.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's, she could have been his drug dealer.
He could be his drug dealer.
Mm-hmm. Because where's the hotel's downtown? The Cortez was supposed to be downtown, and the murder house was in Valencia. Where's the map of the murder house?
I don't remember because they say it when they're on the murder house tour.
Let me see, because they would have to be in the same type of neighborhood for Tate to be buying from her, and I don't think the murder house is downtown.
No, it's close to downtown, I thought.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because Ben was jogging. He was like almost downtown.
Oh, okay.
Or like right on the outskirts.
Murder house maps.
I don't know.
Oh well, they film it in a different place.
Well, we were downtown when we saw when they were on the tour.
Yeah.
For that one scene where that guy got stabbed in the alley. So it had to not been that far.
True. Yeah, so it could be. She could be his dealer.
Yeah, it all makes sense. It does. Mm-hmm. It adds up. Now. Okay, I didn't read through this one, so we'll read it together. But I think these were written before Apocalypse was finished. So it says the Coven is part of the cooperative from Apocalypse, which we know didn't happen, but I guess it says Apocalypse largely has focused on a group of survivors of an extinction level event who were saved by a group known as the Cooperative. At the time of this writing, very little is known about the Cooperative. Yeah, see, so this was done before
Well,
they
the
ended.
warlocks, weren't they? Or
Also,
not really?
aside from the fact that they had the means to build several outposts capable of keeping small groups of people alive, this was made all the more interesting when it became clear that several members of the coven who had been manipulated to have forgotten their witchy ways were living at these outposts. The theory is that the coven, working together with their warlock counterparts, actually are the cooperative. Combining their abilities in order to keep their members alive, they will team up to take on Michael. Which would have been cool if they had done it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anything would have been cooler than what they did.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Okay. It says, the show features various levels from Dante's Inferno. Probably the most.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm dealing with Mary right now, so hold on. You keep going.
Do you want me to keep reading it?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Probably the most talked about fan theory when it comes to the American Horror Story franchise is the Dante's Inferno comparison. If you don't know, Dante's Inferno is an epic poem that focuses on the author's journey through hell. Excuse me. Which features 9 circles where different kinds of sinners are tormented. Brought up by fans so often that even AHS co-creator Ryan Murphy acknowledged it on Instagram. The idea is that every season of the show represents a different level of hell. Examples of this include the first season being Limbo, Asylum is Fraud, Coven is Treachery, Freak Show is Greed, Hotel is Gluttony, and Cult is all about Heresy.
What about Roanoke?
I don't know, they just totally skipped out Roanoke, didn't they?
But it was totally violent.
Yeah, I would agree. I would totally agree that Roanoke would have been.
Roanoke is the most violent season. I don't care what
Yes,
anybody
it is.
says.
Yeah, it was. And definitely the most visually violent anyway.
Yeah. I think it's the most darkest season.
Okay, I'm about. You guys, we're dealing with the tail end of this, so you guys continue, and I'll watch the last of it and
Okay.
see. Okay.
Where the chuck did my phone go?
Obviously, you're not on it then.
I probably am, though. I mean, I don't know. I like the Inferno thingy idea. It's it's nice, but they're going on past 10 seasons, so I don't really understand how they could keep that going.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now this one, because that one I finished that whole page. This one says 8 American Horror Story fan theories that were actually confirmed and 12 that should be. So, let's see. The first one says confirmed. All seasons exist in a shared universe. We know that. 19 should be. Every season is a circle of hell.
There's only 9 circles, and I mean, unless they're going to end the show at 9, then I don't think they really can do that.
Yeah. Well, because it even says at the end of this one, it says it's a meta twist that might limit the length of the series. And Ryan Murphy has referenced the theory and even engaged with it by assigning each season to a ring of hell without ever confirming or denying. In a frustrating move for fans, Murphy has left fans in their own state of limbo. Bum, bum, bum.
Pretty much.
Confirmed Cordelia's coven vision came true.
What was her coven vision?
In season 3, season 3's penultimate episode, Cordelia had a vision of Fiona betraying the coven and dispatching each witch. The vision, the vision would come true in the sense that it foreshadowed how each witch would fall. The next episode confirms some of this. The tragic is temporary. Fates of Zoe, Madison, and Misty were all reminiscent of what we saw in the vision. Hotel added a similar twist for Queenie. With the events of Apocalypse, the vision was confirmed all over again, though it was the Antichrist, not Fiona, that carried out the attack. While the perpetrator and the means of disposal don't exactly line up, enough of the violence does to make this theory as good as confirmed. Should be. All the Montgomerys are related. That hasn't been confirmed. They're not giving us any definite answer.
Why
on
the fuck did they not confirm that when Madison was at the fucking murder house? Like
That's when they should have done it right there.
That's the perfect time. Like she was at the murder house.
I feel like that's why Madison went to the murder house, so that they could do that. And I feel like they ran out of time. Like they had to cut some stuff. You know what I mean?
It could be a deleted scene, I guess. Well, because there was another deleted scene where Michael was all wet and had jumped in that little jacuzzi that Mallory was reversing time in. So
yeah,
I guess we'll have to buy the DVD or something. I don't know
if it's even on there.
If even, yeah,
because we don't know if it's on there or not. It says okay, Madison Montgomery has been a main character on season 3 and 8, but the Montgomery name first appeared in season 1 and was tied to socialite Nora and her unhinged doctor husband Charles. This led to wonder if the Montgomerys are all related. This brings up a larger question. AHS repeats surnames over seasons, making it possible that each season features descendants of recurring clans. The detectives in Freak Show and season 1 share the same surname. And the show's creators confirmed that Freak Show's Dandy Mott was a descendant of Roanoke's Edward Felipe Mott. With one high-profile lineage confirmed, it's hard to believe that the writers chose to reuse the name Montgomery simply because they liked it.
Yeah. Well, what about that? What about that Snow name from Roanoke?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think that was on purpose, or I think you said that was the actor's last name, though.
Well, that's his real last name, and
but do you think that they just kept that there for a reason?
I think they did because they wanted us to tie it into Myrtle. Because they were like, "Oh, it's perfect. This is your last name. We're going to keep it as that in the show." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then his name was Rhett, Rhett.
Well, we know nothing about Myrtle's past. Like, we know nothing about her family.
Right.
Not a damn thing.
How common is the name Rhett? Myrtle is an old-fashioned kind of name, but still, it's not a very common name anymore. So it would make sense that an uncommon name would go with an uncommon name. You know what I'm saying? In a family. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. This one says confirmed. The Piggy Man is more than an urban legend, because in season 1, he was just an urban legend that they did in the mirror, you know, just like Candyman or Bloody Mary. And then he actually showed up and killed him. Eric Stonestreet's character, I don't remember.
But there was 2 different backstories for the Piggy Man. In season 1, it was a 19, 12, 19, whatever, 15, 16. type of situation, and obviously Roanoke was like 1600s. So I don't necessarily know, like,
Let's see. It says the backstory told in Roanoke matches the story from season 1, mainly that a Chicago butcher donned a pig's head when undertaking some very antisocial behavior. Given the overlap, this theory is as good as confirmed.
but that's not the same one as Roanoke. There wasn't even a Chicago. It wasn't even America.
No. Yes, sir. No. They talked the Polks when they talked about the Piggy Man, because remember the Piggy Man is actually Kincaid Polk. And they talked about how he went to the World's Fair in Chicago and butchered people.
See, I didn't pay attention to that. I thought he was just, well, he was rolling with the damn colonists. I thought he was just one of them.
No, he was rolling with the colonists because the butcher she put him on the skewer thing and roasted him and put the pig's head on it.
Oh.
He turned him into Piggy Man. She was the
Okay.
creator of Piggy Man, which I found funny because it was Kathy Bates, and Kathy Bates as Delphine was the one who created the Minotaur the same way.
So did they say, like, the backstory of Piggy Man, was that like the real Mama Polk, or was that Francis's version? I guess it doesn't matter though, because
No,
it could have just been.
that was the real Polks when they had Lee strapped in a chair. They
So
were
it was.
telling her
It's so
that.
that's legit. Like he's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When they were eating Lee's leg and everything else and feeding her human flesh and shit.
I thought that
That's
Francis's
amazing.
version of Mama Polk was more scarier than the real one.
I just like Frances Conroy, so I liked her version better.
Well, it was
mean,
just her voice.
Mother
Like the
Mama
real
was
Mama Polk
great,
was just a
but
bit. The real Mama Polk had an annoying hillbilly ass voice, but like
was she
Francis's
supposed to?
version. Well, Francis's version was much more scarier. I think just the dark, like not necessarily like straight up country,
Yeah.
but just the dark and I don't know. I thought that she was much more scarier.
She definitely played dark and like evil backwoods cannibalistic hillbilly very well.
Yeah,
Very
and
believable.
it's weird because the Polks in the reenactment were more scarier than the real Polks, and then the colonists were more scarier, the real version, than like the reenactment. So that was weird.
Yeah. But they did that on purpose because it was
They
meant
wanted
for
to give Francis
TV.
a creepy role.
Well, it was meant for TV, the fake Polks. So they wanted them to look creepy and scary for TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the real
Then back
Polks
to
were
that
like funny
reality
type of,
scripted TV.
and the real Polks were like hilarious.
Yeah. Well, that's like Chaz Bono plays who is it? Lot Polk. And Chaz has the full on beard and everything. And the real Lot Polk didn't have a beard or anything.
Nope.
So that was a little weird. Oh well. So let's see.
What was his last name in Colt? Chaz's
Cool.
character. Wasn't it like Gary
Longstreet.
Did we not see that name again in like Apocalypse? Didn't we see that name?
I don't remember seeing that.
Maybe
name.
I'm crazy, but I could have sworn like we saw, it doesn't necessarily have to be Apocalypse, but Longstreet. I feel like we've heard that name.
There was Eric Stone Street in season 1. But that's his real name, the actor.
I don't know.
But I don't remember another street name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Should be not confirmed. Let me move this out of the way. Should be not confirmed, but should be. Dandy Mott started the clown cult. It says Clowns are
Well, Twisty.
right.
Twisty
Clowns
started
are-
Dandy on the clown thing.
Clowns are a recurring motif in AHS. Freak Show's inbred psychopath Dandy Mott took to dressing like Twisty the Clown midway through the season. In Cult, the main character suffers from a fear of clowns. Her son reads a comic
You know what
about
I just
Twisty,
realized?
and she's menaced by cult members who dress as clowns. What?
We got to do a parallel video. I just realized, okay, Dandy and what was his name? Finn's Polk character.
Jed Polk.
They're the same character pretty much.
Yeah,
Dandy is the
both
inbred
characters.
psycho. Dandy is the inbred psycho. He doesn't look like one, but he is one. Jet is the inbred psycho, and he looks like the role.
Like one.
He looks like one. So that was neat that they had Finn play that.
The only difference is one's a cannibal and one's not.
Literally.
Well, that we know of, because we never saw Dandy actually eat
Well,
anything.
Dandy fucking bathed in blood. It wouldn't be too far-fetched if he would have,
if he would have,
you know.
somebody.
Yeah,
Right.
it wouldn't be too far-fetched. He bathed in it. That was another good hint for Apocalypse or Hotel. The bathing in blood, all the blood and stuff. Like, once Cult happened, though, we I don't think we got any sort of hint for Cult in Roanoke. Not that I can remember.
Let's see. It says this led to another theory that Dandy either started or inspired the clown cult. While this theory looks threadbare, it would actually help redeem some of Cult's messiness. Cult was criticized for featuring too many nonsensical, unresolved plot points, and the clown element was one of them. It was like the cult did it just to mess with Sarah Paulson's character and then drop the whole thing. Confirming this theory would help ground season 7 and make it more menacing.
I take that back. We do have hints for Cult in Roanoke. Remember the first episode of Roanoke? And it's Shelby and Matt walking down the street of wherever they were at, and then he's just getting jumped. That's very reminiscent of Colt, and you know what happened with Kai jumping a bunch of people on the streets just randomly. So that could have been like a little. Also, you know, I don't know. I feel like that if we go back and watch Roanoke, I guarantee I'm going to find more Colt hints.
Okay, let's see. Should be. Apocalypse's young couple is more than special. Timothy and Emily were the odd ones out in Apocalypse. Their presence was explained by their special DNA. And this says they. No. I'm sorry. I'm bringing it back to remind everybody again. Timothy had special DNA that we were told. We were never told that Emily had special DNA. Okay, everybody? All of you writing articles, all of you making theories, it's good to theorize, but we were never told that Emily had special DNA. Okay, people? Now, let me finish reading. And it turned out that they were Satan's backup plan, which only created more questions. Michael was the result of the unholy pairing of ghost and human, but Timothy and Emily are both human, supposedly.
And they're good people.
Some believe that they're related to the aliens of Asylum, and some theorize that they were Adam and Eve-like figures who were descendants of alien abductee Kit. The alien angel theories are also supported by comments the producers made about aliens being a metaphor for angels. Regardless of what they are or might be, these theories are far more interesting and involved than the answers the show has left audiences with, and producers should take note.
I guess that would make sense why they birthed another Antichrist, because they were like the Adam and Eve, tree of knowledge, all that shit. And then the whole snippet of them on Michael's MacBook, with the Apple logo, them being Adam and Eve. So that, I guess that makes sense, I guess. But I thought it was verbatim, like clear as day, like it's got to be a ghost and a human.
Well, if we go based off of what we were told
From a Craigslist psychic, so I mean,
right,
you gotta take what she said with a grain of salt.
But she also got her own Lifetime special and everything else, so who knows?
Literally.
Maybe
Wait
she
a
was
second. Wait a second. What was the name of the chairman who him and his wife were murdered in the first episode of Cole?
Oh,
What's his last name? Chen.
I don't
Because that's
remember.
the same as Roanoke family.
Well, Roanoke was Chen, Chen.
I think okay. I think Cole, his last name was Chan.
Okay.
Or was it? I don't even know if we got his last name spelled out.
See, where's Michael when you need him? He's supposed to be looking this shit up.
Because that could have been a connection with Roanoke and that family, but none of them survived, so I don't see them having any descendants. Okay, never mind. I take that back. His last name was Chang. Okay, because that sounds a lot like Chen. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Okay, let's see. It says should be the apocalypse storyline isn't finished. After the penultimate episode of AHS, fans were skeptical that all of the loose ends could be tied up in one episode. Consequently, many thought that apocalypse would also be the theme of season 9. Although the last episode did close out the story, it showed that there's still an Antichrist in waiting without Michael. Even for a show famous for leaving loose ends, Apocalypse takes the cake. Some fans believe that we haven't seen the last of Apocalypse's theme, even if it isn't addressed in season 9. Some suggest that the apocalypse isn't the nuclear bombing. Considering how many questions remain, the writers would be wise to address these questions before fans lose interest. It's not really a theory, it's just saying it's not done, which we know. Let's see. Should be. I like this one. Hotel's James March is the one who stole the Montgomery baby. Although James March didn't appear until season 5, one theory suggests that he was the one behind one of the show's earliest and most disturbing moments. In season 1, we learned that Dr. Charles Montgomery and wife Nora operated an illicit abortion service. A man was furious that they performed an abortion on his girlfriend, so he abducted the Montgomery's baby, returning it in pieces. Charles attempted to sew it back together and created the infantata. Both TV Guide and Cinema Blend connected the Countess to season 1 when footage of Lady Gaga outside Murder House surfaced. Someone filled in the blanks by suggesting that March was the boyfriend. Given what we know about both characters, the theory is plausible and in line with what we expect from them. It would also be another solid connection between the two seasons.
Well, I thought that the boyfriend was that of the girl we saw in season 1 getting the abortion. I forget what her name was.
They never tell us who stole the baby, so
I guess it would make sense if it was. I don't know.
My problem with this is there's also a theory that says Charles created infantata because of the Countess's blood after her abortion, that somehow her blood was used or tainted Thaddeus, which is how Thaddeus lives, because Thaddeus wasn't a ghost, because when Nora tried to stab him, it didn't kill him, but it did stab him and he ran off. So he wasn't a ghost, and he wasn't still a baby. He grew, so he's been growing, but that would make him immortal. He's not a ghost, but he just lives in the murder house still.
What does he do? Like eat rats or something? How would he stay alive? Or unless he died though,
Maybe he died later.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, because he's a ghost, because Tate was a child and Thaddeus ran up to him and she said, tell him to go away, close your eyes.
Right.
Go away. So he is a ghost, but I guess that would explain him creating the creature. But then again, I thought it would have been explained that he was a warlock and that would have been explained, but like, they didn't do that. So I don't know.
I just thought that was a good way to tie in the fact that there's a possibility that the Countess's blood could have created infantata. But I do like this theory too, that March could have been the one who stole the Montgomery baby. But if he is the one who stole the Montgomery baby, well, no, I guess the theory could still hold up then, because if Charles already did the abortion on Elizabeth,
he didn't though, because it's still a baby though. It's still in room 33.
Well, I'm saying he tried. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep saying did the abortion. The failed abortion.
Oh, okay.
Botched abortion. Because he tried to give her the abortion. So the botched abortion, and he had some of the leftover blood or whatever, however he had it. I mean, you saw the shit the guy kept. It wouldn't be surprising if he kept blood. And especially if he knew that she was immortal or had a virus or something. And that's why, and maybe that's why he played Dr. Frankenstein, because he thought there was a chance of giving his son life again.
Yeah.
But it would make sense that, that she had already been there. He had the blood, and then he created, or then while he had that, March stole their baby, then sent their baby back in pieces, and then that's when he created the infantata from Thaddeus with the blood. That would make sense.
Yeah, that's not a crazy theory. I mean, it makes sense because they had her go specifically to him,
right, and
to
go
perform
back
one. Yeah, and we know March had, he had him a gang with him, and he was popular and whatever. So I guess that would make sense.
Okay, here's one. And this is kind of what I was saying. It says, should be Coco's powers will become more substantial. And it says, since the reveal that Mallory was at least the new Supreme, recappers have wrote at length about her power. However, it's Coco St. Clair Vanderbilt who have some viewers intrigued. Coco's powers were limited to instantly knowing any food's gluten and calorie content. However, Cordelia and Myrtle said they could develop. And after all, a calorie is a measure of energy, which is what I said. Now consider Mallory's monologue at the end of Apocalypse. She said, "We are all made of energy, and energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred." Coco's powers could develop into some way to detect or harness energy on a large scale. This would be a retroactive triumph for the writer's room and would justify the time Apocalypse spent on what was for now a mildly humorous gag. which would have
Yeah, I
been
feel like it's
really
gonna
cool.
be a lot. I feel like it's gonna be a lot. I feel like they're gonna have her back.
I think so too.
I feel like the only way for them to, because let's face it, we can't always have seasons modern day, and we can't always have seasons in the past. There's gonna have to be that sort of ultra futuristic season.
Right.
And the only way to do that is if they explained what happened with Timothy and Emily's baby and how that was defeated. Because if he wasn't, then the world would have ended when he would have became of age, or actually he would have rapidly grown. So
Right.
it would have ended like in what, 2022, 20, I think 2020 was whenever.
And who knows, maybe he still will.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I really feel like they should not have just done that. Like, they should not have ended it with that. Because that just throws away any sort of season that is. Because let's face it, though, like a modern day season, if we're going to go past 10 seasons, they're going to have to say it's 2020, whatever. You get what I'm saying, though? And they can't do that unless. Because Michael was only what? When did he turn into old Michael? After what, 2 years old? Or 1 year old?
No, I think he was like 6 when he grew overnight because she was talking about, or he was like 5 or 6 because she was talking about getting him ready for school.
So then they can't really do a modern day season if we're going past season 10. It's, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we gotta see their child again, which is gonna suck because it's gonna be like, what, we don't need another Antichrist fucking season. But I feel like it's gonna have to do with Coco. They just fucked themselves up big time for having that ending.
Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Okay. And confirmed baby Tate is the Antichrist. Should be the asylum aliens still have a big role to play.
I hope.
And we know where, as you know, it basically talks about all of the clues in a apocalypse and everything. So how do you feel about that with the aliens? You talk about that. I'll be right back.
I feel like the next season has to be aliens. Because there's way too many subtle, small hints of the season being aliens. So I'm like, why would it not be? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hello.
You're taking my chair now.
She's taking over.
You gonna say hi? That's
Hi.
Kenny. Say hi, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi. Who's that Funko Pop?
Who's that?
That's Butcher.
Yay. A+.
Yeah, Funko Pops.
Tell him those are Titans, not Funko Pops.
Those are Titans.
Some
Not
Funko Pops have big heads.
Funko Pops have big heads.
All right, give me a kiss. Good night. Good night. I love you. Shut the door all the way. Okay. So, and then this one says,
How
should
the
be.
fuck have we been streaming for 2 hours?
It happens.
It does not feel like that. We were supposed to talk about season 9 theories. I guess I should change the title then.
Yeah, change the title. We'll talk about that'll be our part 2 is season 9 theories.
Yeah, we'll do that. We should probably do that before season 9 comes out because I want to do. If we talk about that, I guess we definitely got to talk about season 9 theories while that's like a hot topic.
Yeah.
And we better hurry because I think they might announce the theme. They could announce it this Saturday.
Well, even if they announce the theme, that gives us more theories to go off of for that theme.
True. When did they announce? Did they announce it was going to be Apocalypse before they had the Paley Fest panel with Kathy Bates, Emma Roberts, Leslie, Sarah, and Adina?
I don't remember.
Or did they do that after? No, it was before. Because Emma was talking about how she was playing Madison again.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that was before or after they said it was going to be Apocalypse. I think that was just when we knew it was going to be a spinoff. Right?
I think so.
Or did they announce it was Apocalypse the same day? I don't remember. So they might give us something. But then Mary said on the live stream that she was reading off that they didn't have American Horror Story on the panel list. So I have no idea.
Well, I mean, that's basically the most interesting theories I have for now. I have a few more, but I mean, I'll save those for part 2.
Yeah.
I don't want to make our stream too long because nobody's gonna watch it then.
Literally. I'm gonna end it and then we gotta talk. Hold on.
Well, thank you,
people.
everybody.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be funny if Michael comes back right as we're ending?
Kitty
Or like, where the fuck is Kitty?
got lost.
Yeah. No, Kitty was busy with the catnip. Dear kitty. All right, bye guys.